Port Adelaide continue their winning form. They had a 21-point victory over Carlton. Assistant coach Brendon Lade joins us. Lady, welcome.
Hey boys, how you going?
Crocodile.
Very well, thank you. I guess everyone's still got to spring in their step. 4 points in the bank, which is great. What'd you take out of the match? Give us a positive and an area of improvement for you.
It was just good to get, like you said, the win. We go to 10-4 now, and challenge for us is to keep it going. We won 6 out of our last 7. Starting to see some consistency from the group, which has been real pleasing, and the challenge for us is to keep that going now.
So, in terms of improvement, what would you look at the weekend and say we need to do that better? Anything that jump out?
It's always going to be well, not always. At the moment, it's still our inside 50 use and making sure we're getting that right. Just got Jake Corns hurting at your voice, but
Come on, Shanny.
our inside 50 stuff is going to be the improvement area there, and for us to keep that going and get some better finishing is going to be our challenge the rest of the year.
When you say that, the inside 50s, you were plus 26. That's a massive number. You had a couple of numbers like that last year and you have this year. What needs to improve in there? You're getting the repeat inside 50s. What do you need to do?
Well, the first half of the weekend, we scored really well when we went inside 50. We scored half the time we went in there, so that's a really high percentage, 50%. And the second half, we dropped down to about 30%. So when some teams have got numbers back against us, and at times we have scored really well against them, then other times when teams got numbers back, we haven't scored as well. So for us, it's about just converting when there's more numbers in there and trying to get some scores.
And you're right, you're just finding different ways to win. You had to scratch that one out, 2 points up at three-quarter time, and then the leaders really stood up in that last quarter in big moments, won by 21. We go back to the week before Melbourne. Your numbers were all against you, but you found a way to win. You even go back to the Crows game where you had to find a way to win in that last half. That must be very pleasing with the coaching group.
Yeah, it definitely is. I think it's a sign of maturity from our group and our leaders. Just realising how we play and the consistency we need with the way we play, because teams can fluctuate a fair bit with their form, with their roles, and when you're a good team, and everyone's commenting on Richmond at the moment, but how consistent they are with their effort, with their pressure, with the roles they play within their 18 on the field, and they're getting a really good result from it. So our group is starting to mature. We have a young backline that is doing quite well. We're our 4th best defence at the moment, and for us to keep improving, that's going to be our challenge, but also to making sure we're making the most of opportunities, whether we get lots or whether we get not many.
I was going to say, your third quarters have been outstanding. Your third quarter on the weekend, you didn't score. What was the story there?
We went over that today as a match committee and as a team. We just went away from what we do. Whether we got a little bit comfortable thinking it's just going to happen for us, and we'll just expect the result to go our way. But to Carlton's credit, Carlton were very competitive in that quarter. Their effort was through the roof. Their pressure was right up, and they did it for the whole quarter, and we struggled against that. But like you said before, our leaders stood up in the last quarter, and we responded to Carlton's pressure and were able to put some goals on the board and put a bit of a break between us and them.
Jack Cheng was the good news story, or the feel-good story of the weekend. Did he do enough to keep Darcy Byrne-Jones out of the side next week?
Well, we'll pick that on Thursday. But look, Jack did some really good things, and as you said, it's a great story for him and his family to get back to play some AFL football again. And we didn't think he played too bad. We thought he did what he needed to do to play in our back line and play that role for us. And he's also very flexible. He can play wing and on ball, and we think he's got some upside. And look, if he stays in, it'll be great. And if he doesn't, he's the kind of bloke that'll go out, play well in the SANFL and expect another opportunity at some stage.
I read today some really good news for Power fans. Paddy Ryder saying he's feeling less pain in his Achilles each game that he plays as he gets better and better at managing his tendinitis. That must make you feel a bit good, because we know how important a player he is to your side.
Yeah, I think I said today in the press conference that he's been managing it as good as anyone can. He's very diligent in his rehab and recovery, and he's been seeing some different people. He's been icing at home. He's even put an ice machine in at home so he can do that all that extra work there. So last 2 or 3 weeks he's had a real improvement in his Achilles and starting to get through games without limping towards the end. And he's been recovering really well. So we look forward to Paddy doing some more training with us and also, starting to put some good form on the board to going into finals.
Do you think you'll rest him before finals?
Look, Paddy's had 6 weeks off, I think he had at the start of the year, so I think he'll be chomping the bit to play every game he can and to help us get into finals.
Okay. What are you doing under him as far as development goes? Can you give the Port supporters an update to the development of a Frampton and a Ladhams? I see they played again on the weekend for the Maggies.
Yeah, they both played again. Look, they're still young ruckmen. Like Billy's 21 and Pete's only 19 or 20, so they're still young developing ruckmen. And as everyone knows, they do take a bit longer. It takes a little bit from messages going from our brain down to our legs and arms, so because we're a bit bigger than everyone else. But look, but they've shown improvement this year. They just need to make sure they do it every week, and that's been our challenge to them: is consistent effort. Billy shows it in patches, Pete shows it in patches. For them, for us to get some real confidence and belief that they can fill in for Paddy, they just need consistency. So they'll keep working on that, and hopefully we can get a result out of one of them if we need them this year or the years to come. What
did Jesper Kyd do late?
You just call me late?
No, late in the game. Lady.
No worries, bro.
Lady. You're my man, lady. You're my man. What did Jesper Kyd do late, lady?
Look, Jasper, he felt something in his hamstring and he wasn't sure what it was, so he just stopped and basically walked off the ground. He's having some scans today, and we'll find out further if there's any damage. But he just felt something a bit weird and didn't want to push it too hard in case something really big happened.
Okay, and is it a bit of a Tommy Jonas one, is it? Do you know? Will Jonah be back this week? What's the mail there, the early mail?
Early mail, Jonah will have to train this week and get through pain-free. We don't want to be pushing him and snapping his hammy. So, look, he'll train on Thursday and we'll hopefully get through and he can play because that's an important part of our team.
How did DBJ take the dropping? I mean, I had a look at his game on the weekend. He only had 13. He wasn't special. He had no tackles. Looked to me like he might have been a bit disappointed in the decision.
Anyone who gets suspended by the club's leaders is never going to be happy, right or wrong. So, look, we've lifted our standards at our football club and it's been a huge step for our leadership group to enforce some of these penalties. And, look, it's been great not great for Darcy, obviously, but it does send a message to everyone else that we've got some high standards at this football club that we expect that people to uphold. And if you don't, you're going to have to pay the consequences. Unfortunately for Darcy, he was missing a game, and I'm sure he'll be back in this week. No problems at all.
You got a bit of a look at Charlie Curnow, who's one of the up-and-coming stars. You've spent some time on Dougal Howard and also on Cleary, who are both having really good years. He's a pretty spectacular player at such a young age.
Yeah, he's last 3 or 4 weeks he's jumped in the clouds. Or jumping to him anyway. Can definitely take a hanger, that's for sure. And look, he's got a massive engine. He reads the play really well. He's a great kick, good mark, and as we said about the ruckman, tall forwards can take a while as well to develop. But I think he's in his 3rd year now, and we're just seeing some really exciting things, and he's just great to watch. We watched him the week before against Collingwood, and he kicked 6 goals, and jumping on people's heads and kicking goals from everywhere. So that was great to see. But kicked 4 against us, but he's got a massive future in the game, and the game needs people like him.
Well, it was an interesting game because we read the coaches' votes out. Cade Simpson in his 300 was given the maximum votes. Charlie Curnow second best. It's unusual where 2 of the best players on the ground come from the losing side, but it was that's the way it unfolded. At St Kilda this week, it's another challenge for you. Again, you'll start favourite, but looking to just keep winning those games.
Yeah, Bossy and I stayed over in Melbourne on the weekend to watch Melbourne and Saints. They were very impressive against Melbourne. They really got up high, up the ground, and just beat Melbourne back in their forward 50. And St Kilda's only had 2 or 3 games where they've kicked more goals than points, and that was one of them on the weekend. So they're starting to correct their goal kicking issues, and hopefully on the weekend they can revert back to more points than goals, and we can get a result. But they're not going to be any easy beats because fantastic on Sunday, and we have to be our absolute best to be competitive against them.
I don't know whether it's a small sample size, round 15, but teams seem to be taking it on at the moment, Lady. I don't know what that is. I think 9 teams kicked over 90 points. A heap of them kicked over 100. 2 games that both teams kicked over 100. Are you noticing that? What are a little bit of the trends you've noticed after the bye, maybe?
Yeah, it's this time of year. I remember some people, it's a very hard time of year for players. It's that, middle of the year when it's cold, you're a bit sore, you're just getting through training, you're just getting through games, and maybe some teams are a bit sore and they're not defending as well as they were, and not many teams freshen up the next month or so, and then they really, attack their defence in that last part of the year to restrict those scorings. But, look, it was exciting to see some high scores, exciting to see some close games, and hopefully that trend continues.
Great chat, Lade. Well done. Thanks for your time.
There you go. Thanks, Brendon.
Great.
Brendon Lade, who is an assistant coach at the Port Adelaide Footy Club. We love his sense of humour. He's also very good with his time.
Footy brain.
Yep, he has indeed.
Footy brain.